Isn't that cute? Hello, it's Sunday night. It's 8 o'clock, and you're watching Let's Kill Twitter with me, Julian Hall. This is the show that aims to detox your timeline with the art of conversation. Fortunately, I don't have to do that alone. We've got two fantastic guests who we're going to introduce in just a moment. That's Nathaniel, Tapley, and Suzy Bennett. But as ever, my co-host is the fantastic comedian Sajeela Kershi. Hello, Sajeela.
Hello. Hello, world, and hello, Julian. How are you this week?
Yeah, well, it's all kind of like a bit normalsville out there, isn't it? I mean, it's a bit, I've done normal things. I've gone to Primark in the centre of London and, walked around and stuff. So I'm knackered now. I've basically caught everyone's cold and done been out for one afternoon and I am pooped, quite
You
frankly.
don't realise how being normal is quite exhausting. I mean, going back to normal, it is really tiring, isn't it? Doing normal things. I don't remember being this tired in the normal world before.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've already got, you can probably tell I've got a slightly hoarse voice. That's not my natural sexy voice. That is just actually, that's illness. But I mean, I've seen a few people on Twitter saying things like, oh no, I've not really been able to make much use of this week because I've just instantly managed to get a cold. So not just my woe,
So
thank goodness.
I think that's quite exciting, going back to away from the pandemic to more man flu stuff. Real issue. Yeah, that's the illnesses we could deal with, right? When we all get like a bit of a cold and we're like, oh, I've got to take time off work.
It's normal stuff. Yeah,
I'm
well, I
sorry, I
think
can't
people
come
would
in.
absolutely love to talk about normal stuff. I mean, I think but the news agenda. Of course, we're here to we're here to sort of celebrate the normal stuff, aren't we? But I mean, so one great example is Eurovision, which we will get onto, and I
Hmm.
know we've had an exchange about that today. But I was very much like, oh, I'm not going to watch Eurovision. I'm so glad I did because I didn't really have anything else to do last night apart from just sort of wedge on the sofa after my hard afternoon shopping. But it was great. It was just one of those things that I love about Twitter. It probably haven't had as much fun as since the US election Twitter, which was fantastic because everybody just comes in and bombards. They're on fine form. For example, Tina Dieb was a previous guest was really live tweeting live tweeting the shit out of it, I can say, last night, and I thought it was amazing. But you were much more trepidatious, were you not?
No, I didn't. I didn't watch it at all. And my brother was going, "You're going to watch it?" We're going to say, "No, I've got paperwork to sort out." And I was watching a Spanish drama anyway. Like my Spanish dramas.
Oh
And
yeah, I know.
I learned all about the Nil Point stuff from Twitter, basically. So isn't that great? Twitter's great. You don't even have to watch anything to kind of keep up to date with what's happening.
I mean, you could have watched it. You could have completely watched it without. I mean, you could have totally got the thread with Twitter threads. I mean, watching something and following it on Twitter is always can be a
I
real
love those mistakes. I
enhancement.
do.
But you could have absolutely been unable to watch it and followed it on Twitter and still, you know, had sort of the best of it. I mean, we'll get stuck into that later. I'm going to try and
Yeah.
restrain myself in terms of how many Eurovision tweets I share. But as a whole, I was very busy last night. I have to say, I was after the dopamine of likes, and didn't do too bad.
I think it's a pretty good week, really. So I think we should bring our guests on
Absolutely.
because it's going to be exciting fun. Two very fun, very funny, hilarious, talented people. And I'm going to kick off with introducing we always try and get, sort of gender balance, a woman and a man. And I want to introduce my lovely friend who I've known for many years, met her in the Loft Bar in Edinburgh. If you ever go to the Edinburgh Festival, it's supposed to be the VIP bar, but really it's not. It's just I don't know why we call it the VIP. She's from she's a former Redcoat, and proud to be a Devonian, and she's won an award on her sixth gig. She says accidentally. She's performed all over the UK. She's the voice of the Plymouth trials, and she's also been named as one of the 50th coolest people. She's definitely one of the coolest people that I know and the funniest people I know, and she's hilarious. So say all of us. Russell Kane, she supported, has called Suzy a charm bomb, and the Metro's called her a delightful. She's been in delightful company, so we are in delightful company. Please welcome out there, world, the lovely Suzy Bennett.
Woo!
Woohoo! Hello, Suzy. Hello.
I've got a light bar on my head, so I look very angelic right now.
You're glowing. You're glowing. You're looking very. I like the hair. It looks very sort of ABBA, kind of when ABBA won Waterloo.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I got a subtle curl. And you look beautiful as always. And I'm really pleased the flowers I sent you arrived behind you there.
Yeah, I mean, they went a bit
welcome.
overload, didn't it? Speaking of which, actually, Julian sent me a plant too. So I'm just like, inundated with shrubbery at home.
Not an audience plant, but an actual real one. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Now, Julian, have you've met Suzy? Have you before?
Well, we've actually met. We met in Edinburgh after a gig. I think we met after one of the Immigrant Diaries shows. Actually,
yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have a story good enough for Immigrant Diaries. As much as Sajeela's trying to shoehorn me in that show, unfortunately, getting the megabus from Plymouth to London isn't enough of an immigrant story.
Devon is another country, Suzy. Come on.
I'm going to get my DNA done though. So watch this space one day. But thank you for the lovely introduction, Sajeela. That's really lovely. I love that you said about me being one of the 50 coolest people, but you didn't specify it was actually in Plymouth. So it just sounds like I'm one of the 50 coolest people on the planet. Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, if you're 50 coolest people in Plymouth, why not extend that to the rest of the world?
It's a big city. We've got 3 Gregs now. We're doing all right.
Three Gregs. Well, not all next to each other.
Coming along. Coming along. And did you watch? I know we're all going to get into it all together anyway. Did you watch Eurovision last night?
I did. I watched a bit of the second semi-final, and then last night, myself and Jean, my lovely mum, sat down and we watched it on an hour delay. So I was trying hard not to look on Twitter to see what was happening because I got very emotionally involved. At first, I thought I just want to go to bed, but then I got involved and I thought I've got to stick it out till the end. But it was absolutely brilliant and camp, and I love all the staging, all the different things they came up with. Unfortunately, my favourite didn't win, but they came very, very, very close.
Who was your favourite?
We'll ask you in a minute, but let's get our second guest on. I'll hand over to you.
I want to know. Well, you've got to hold that thought. Yes, gives me great pleasure to introduce Nathaniel Tapley. Nathaniel's had some fantastic writing credits. He's an award-winning writer-performer. His credits include Have I Got News for You? The Revolution Will Be Televised. I've actually got an updated bio here, so I've literally got 2 bios in front of me. The News Quiz, Now Wash Your Hands, Tonight with Vladimir Putin, Tonightly, and The Now Show, amongst others. But he's just finished working on producing Future Shocks Radio, which is a series of audio dramas for 2000 AD. So I'm definitely going to ask him about that. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nathaniel Tapley.
Hello, I'm pressing all the buttons. Yes, they're there. Hello.
Hi, are you there?
I am here. Can you see me or hear me?
So good
yes,
to
I
see
can.
You,
let me pin you. There we go.
Ooh,
no.
That sounds delightful.
Consider
Long
yourself
time I've been pinned by anyone apart from my close family.
Is the 2000? Is that the graphic novel comic?
Yes,
it is. And it's
yes.
still with us.
If you're a subscriber to 2000 AD, then you have a series of audio dramas which we made for them, featuring comics like Al Murray, Rufus Hound, Janet Ellis. She's not a comedian, but she's a person you might have heard of.
Yeah. I remember her from what was the thing she used to do with Quizbit or whatever it was. Quizbit,
yeah.
wasn't it?
She was on Blue Peter.
She was on Blue Peter mainly, yeah.
But then there was another.
There's a scandal. She got pregnant out of wedlock on Blue Peter.
Not
on Blue Peter.
Was that with?
It wasn't on.
Sticky back plastic all over the place. Get a parent to help you with this bit.
Was
that with Sophie Ellis-Bextor?
Yeah, that's her mum, isn't it? Yeah, that's.
But was that the pregnancy that caused the issue, or was it a different one?
I think so.
Goodness me, I think Suzy might have to keep you on as a sort of celebrity kind of.
It's like Miss World when you get your title taken away if you get. That's the same with Blue Peter. You can't get pregnant. They can't be seen to having sex on a child's program.
I mean, you can't. That is a rule. You can't be seen to be having sex.
That definitely is a rule. You can't actually have sex on a child's program. Yeah. But
except for Rod Hull and Emu, where it was fine. Rock bags were at it all the time.
I was wondering about Bungle and Zippy and George. I used to wonder about them.
They did share a bed, didn't they?
Yeah,
Zippy and George share a bed.
Did you say? Was there a bedroom shot? I thought they were always around the kitchen counter.
I think occasionally.
Well, they used to walk around naked all the time and then put pajamas on to go to bed.
Yeah, thinking about them in the kitchen a lot.
A reverse nudist thing going on.
Didn't Zippy just have a night hat? It wasn't really pajamas, just had a long night hat, like Wee Willie Winky. And
so
George
true.
next to him.
Come on,
Naked
people,
until you
tweet
go to
at
bed.
Come on, tweet at us, people. We need to know. We need to know. So, guys,
Yes, find out, were they in bed?
how is it going with like? I know it's only been a week of normal, but how's it sort of feeling? Kind of, gig wise and just getting back to normal wise, and how's the vibe? Is basically what I'm asking. Who wants?
I mean, it doesn't feel like the vibe's going to last very long at the moment. It sort of goes. I'm loath to put too much hope in the great liberation that's meant to be coming, because lots of scientists don't think it's going to be coming. And in fact, getting all the children to take their masks off at school last week probably wasn't very clever. So it feels like, see you all in lockdown again for more sourdough fun in June.
Wow, that's our first lockdown prediction of the evening. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, 21st of June isn't happening, people. Heard it here first.
Well, there you go. I mean, you're straight out of the trap. You've beaten Dominic. Dominic Cummings is probably tweeting that as we speak.
I mean, Dominic, he's an interesting one because he said, oh, all this stuff didn't happen. Yeah, because of you, Dominic. It was actually, you were in charge of it. You can't go, oh, look at how terribly we dealt with it. Yes, you did. You personally did it very badly.
I mean, the great thing about last night is that he was busy tweeting out, his sort of... pre-evidence giving tweets, I suppose you might want to call it, and he was doing it during Eurovision, which was like, okay, you could see the weight of the tweets where that was going. Anyway, let's put it like that.
Yeah, he didn't even express a favourite in Eurovision. It was terrible tweeting.
I was disappointed. Suzy, who was your favourite? You mentioned you had a favourite.
Oh, Suzy, who was your favourite?
I stayed off Twitter. I didn't see any of the live tweeting because I was watching on delay. But I really wanted Switzerland to win. I loved him.
Oh, but it was so good seeing his heart break in real time on television.
No.
You watched him go...
Yeah. Be kind now. Hashtag be kind. He had a lovely blouse on, and he didn't have any fancy whistles and bells. It was just him and his voice and that lovely blouse.
Yeah.
And it was powerful. And I loved him. And I didn't really like Italy because apart from the weird lederhosen situation, I just felt they were a bit arrogant. And then the camera would pan to them. They'd all be on their phones and they were all going like this. And I didn't like them. I liked the little John, was it John Steer or John Tears? Because I couldn't quite get what his name was, but I felt, it was apt to call him John Tears, bless him.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I know France did really well, but I kind of felt she was ripping off Madonna in the Papa Don't Preach video with the outfit. And I just... And
Edith Piaf from about 100 years ago or whatever it was.
Yes, and I thought, Switzerland, please. And it was very sad. And don't even mention Aldi Rag and Bowman, our poor boy, with his terrible leather jacket. I don't know what was going on there. But
when did this person get through? I thought we were supposed to vote on that. Did that?
I don't think they let us anymore, do they? There used to be a Song for Europe which we could vote on, and because we kept putting Sonia through, they stopped us doing it. And now it's just Simon Cowell who picks in a room somewhere.
I can't believe they've passed up an opportunity to make yet more television out of this. Surely there is some kind of heat. Yeah. I mean, they never used to show the semi-finals, did they? I mean, that seems like a new thing to me.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Well, there was a big outcry this morning when people found out they paid £300,000 for that 4 hours of television. Like, why are we paying this? We don't get any points. That's the cheapest 4 hours of television you could possibly program. That's less than half an episode of EastEnders.
It was.
Well, that Freeze of Eldorado.
Yeah.
So not having seen it, right, just going through Twitter and asking it with my brother, and I hear that we didn't get any points. So Wyoming, nil point, because they always say that, Wyoming. I love that, United Kingdom, Wyoming. That's the only time we call United Kingdom in the is in the Eurovision Song Contest. So Wyoming, nil point. Was it that shit?
It was utterly forgettable, wasn't it? It was.
Is it political? Is it because they just all hate us?
I don't think it. I think it was just bad. It wasn't memorable in any. It wasn't even memorably bad. It wasn't even like we'd done Sonia or Engelbert Humperdinck or one of them. It was just nothing. And he was a bit out of tune. He was a bit out of breath.
Yeah, he had a terrible pleather jacket on, and
there was very little stage. There wasn't really any spectacle, was there? I mean, the Germans at least had. He
looked like he had a lovely.
He
looked like he'd won a competition. Well, not that competition. He looked like
not that one.
he won a competition of paper to go on stage. You know, it was like Michael McIntyre's big show thing when they surprise a member of the public and they get to go on and sing. It was like that. So, you know.
Well, I got very excited because it's called James Newman, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I got excited. I thought maybe for some reason John Newman was been doing it for us, thinking, we stand a definite chance. I mean, if Flo Rida can do it, and Bill Bailey that's the latest news. Is Bill Bailey wants to sort of is putting himself forward.
Bill Bailey and Jade Adams want to do it.
Oh, is Jade right? Is Jade in there as well? Because I know that Chortle have started a comedy website. Chortle have started a change.org petition to get Bill Bailey to do it, but
I don't think they understand the selection mechanism.
Bill Bailey can dance. He can definitely. He's already. We know he can sing, so why not? I want him to do all his Strictly Come Dancing moves.
His national anthems.
Yeah, I want that.
If you could force a celebrity to have to do it for us, who would you force?
That's a good question, isn't it?
I think Bill would be.
I mean, let's rephrase it. That's.
Yeah, I thought actually I want to clarify something. As a non, can you not do Eurovision as a professional? I thought in the past there were examples that.
No, you can. You can.
Yeah.
It's just that it's not paid very well. I think it's paid, and the chance of failing is huge. I would
like Daisy Cooper to do it.
Oh yeah, no.
Or
Yeah.
Alison Hammond.
That's very good. Or the two of them duet.
Oh.
On a piano, like back-to-back pianos. Both play in different coloured tail suits with top hats.
Oh, it'd be beautiful.
So somebody's got I think I saw somebody's got a Eurovision song tweet.
Yeah, there's loads actually. Well, first I was just going to say to people watching this on the stream, obviously follow us at LKT Zoom if you're not already. But in response to Nathaniel's question, which celebrity would you force to do the Eurovision Song Contest?
Do the Eurovision Song Contest. I do think it's important to have the second half.
Yeah, we'd like some feedback on that. I might have to do a poll. Yeah. We might have to do a poll later. If we can each think of one other than Bill. So that was, I think I do. So this one here, Sarah Van Pelt, it's literally just responding to Dominic Cummings tweeting, which we mentioned earlier. She just goes, Eurovision's on, mate. Just nice little chippy one. Now, Treminda Giannetti from, I think, writes The Guardian amongst other Observer and amongst other things. Eurovision songs are 50% I'm horny and 50% world peace. But surely you could be horny for world peace. I mean, go the 400%.
I'm 100% world peace horny.
Exactly. I need to sing at Telegraph End something saying there's something almost poignant about Dominic Cummings composing a 42 tweet thread while everyone ignores it and watches Eurovision.
That's like that time. Do you remember when he went back and altered his blog to make it look like he'd said things in the past?
So he might do
this that. Yeah, it was like, if everyone's distracted with Eurovision, I'll just put out this thing where I said, I was really good last year and everyone ignored me.
Yeah. Do you get updates? Do you get any alerts if he does that on his blogs? He might be tuned into that. And this is Michael Legg, obviously loving it. It's that, the British have to hope that others vote to keep them in Europe. That is a lovely bit of Schadenfreude there. So there were tons. Now, Suzy, you had really.
Can we just go back because I have not seen the original. That piano curved thing.
Oh yeah, the Iceland one. The Iceland people, they were excellent.
Okay, good.
Iceland's 3-person circular piano keyboard.
What's with the S&M?
So that's stuff. Italy, isn't it?
That's Italy. Yeah.
Oh, that's Italy. That one, right?
Or we call it, yeah.
There was one group of women. I can't remember what. Maybe it was Serbia, where at one point it looked like they were doing a human centipede situation, and they were kind of. Did anybody remember this? They were in black. I remember they were bending over and they were kind of right near each other. And my mum actually said, "I hope one of them hasn't got wind." But they. I know Sajeela's seen the human centipede, haven't you, Sajeela?
I know. I was obsessed with that film. Obsessed with it. But I just basically S&M they won the people right?
Rage Against the Mussolini.
Ragu Against the Machine.
And then who are these children?
That's Iceland. Yeah.
The children presenters are all from where?
Iceland.
So they came second, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Did they really?
They did reasonably well. I'm not sure they
big following
in France. Yeah.
Video.
Well, they did. There's another tweet. I didn't actually line it up and said that basically the Iceland contestants look like every sketch group you've ever seen at sea venues at 4:55. Which I think
Also-
is completely fair.
Yeah, because none of them actually play any of those instruments either. It's only the main one in Iceland who is musical at all. And he said, how many people can we have on stage? And they said 6. And so he went, right, that's my wife, my sister, and 3 of our friends, and we're all going to do it dressed up together. None of them are
can't
playing
play
any of those
instruments.
instruments.
Suzy,
And
you
they
lied about that. What else
one
have
of
they
them-
lied about?
One of them had COVID. So did
Yeah.
you know in the green room they had a weekend at Bernie's situation where with a little screen on. Oh bless! What a shame.
I tell you, Graham Norton, if you're watching, I've got 2 people that can co-host with you next year. Absolutely. Oh goodness! Right. Okay. So there's tons now. Suzy, you put out a really interesting one because I'd never. Oh yeah, because I didn't get the reference. I think that's what it was. Let's find it. So here we go. Stephen, Piff Paff Poff. I want to have it off. The High Life, Doug.
I absolutely love anyone who remembers niche sitcoms from the 80s and 90s. Now, this was The High Life, starring Alan Cummings,
Right.
Paul Masson, and Siobhan Redmond. And they were very camp air stewards in Scotland, Air Scotia. And it was hilarious. And there was one episode where they decided to enter Eurovision. And they said, we need a catchy song. It needs to mean nothing. And they called it Piff Paff Puff. And the song went piff, paff, puff, I want to have it off until I cough. And they did a little routine. I've got it on DVD somewhere in the back of my wardrobe. And this guy, I just only briefly looked at, because it was Scooch and they were on this morning. Do you remember Scooch?
No, but I think we should play that. We'll play
I know
them.
Matt remembers them because he's like, but are you playing a bit of Scooch?
Let's do
Yeah.
the whole Scooch thing. So just ignore the football table.
Is it deliberately? Did they use the Great Sopranos catchphrase deliberately? Because Piff Paff
Yeah.
Poof is the Great Soprano. Okay.
I've only watched this
Jeffrey
today, so I was totally unaware of Scooch. Did they enter in 2007?
Oh, this.
I wish it was this song, but it's not.
This is your captain.
This was amazing.
I'd like to welcome you aboard this Eurovision flight.
Quite
The
terrifying.
duration will be 3 minutes exactly. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
Put your hand up at any point you can't bear it. Julian, you're looking at disbelief. Absolutely bang on. Oh, right. No, that's got to be enough. Right. Okay. We've definitely got the
I
idea.
like the way they were going to name as many cities as they could in Europe, just in the hope that someone would vote for London to Berlin to Paris, Malaga.
It's Pam and the musical. Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible
If we
scene.
name all the cities, they have to vote for us.
The worst bit was the innuendo ad-libbing, and the guy would come on and say, salted nuts, sir. And it was just, it was proper carrier. I mean, it's brilliant. It's what Eurovision's all about, camp. But it was just terrible. And they appeared on This Morning in the week, as they are now.
Ooh,
And they had
okay.
their uniforms on, and they sang along to the song, and it was so cringe. And everyone, I always look at, I'm a big daytime TV fan. I always look at This Morning to see if anyone's as outraged as I am. And oh, bless.
And we're obviously rival camps because we're I can't remember you all. No, so This Morning starts after Jeremy Vine. So because I'm no, it doesn't. No, not Jeremy Vine. Yeah, whatever. But I'm a big Jeremy Vine fan. That's the only morning. It's the only morning telly I can understand these days. But so they was that 2007 that they were on the Eurovision, and they were obviously guests on This Morning. Well, it wasn't well received by where's he gone? There was one particular. I know. I know what I've done on this one. I probably haven't liked it, although I don't need to because I actually. Hang on. Here we go. There was another guy who. Where is he? Kyle.
He said what we were all thinking.
Yeah, basically. So.
And he had no likes. He had no likes. So I
Oh,
thought,
hang on. I can fix that now.
he deserves
Yes,
more.
let's both fix it right now. Where is it
Yeah.
now?
He's talking for the nation.
Yeah.
It is definitely
Also-
very important to pick out those underrepresented tweets. We're here
There
to
he is.
champion
Yes.
the little tweeter
Yeah.
as well as the biggies.
But I do believe the high life was a long
To be
time
fair-
before Scooch, so I don't know if they were influenced by it, but
It certainly looks
It was-
like it.
A
Very
lot of Kyle's feed is fuck off, fuck off. What's the fuck off? And this is essentially Kyle's greatest hits.
Right, hang on. Yeah,
Let's
probably.
all follow Carl.
Well, there you go.
There you go,
I mean,
please fuck off.
Carl liked our tweet earlier, so I'm sure. In fact, I might have to follow
Okay.
him now because
Let's make Carl's day and just retweet everything he's ever done.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that is
Yeah,
that's an evergreen
I'm not going to do that.
tweet.
I've looked at a few of them, but I'm not going to do
The fuck off genre is a bit of an evergreen tweet, isn't it? I mean, you could apply that, you know, but that is very good. Now, actually, Sajeela, was this one of yours, the Alistair? Because we've got a couple from Alistair this week. Alistair
Oh,
Green.
right.
I think it may have been. Yeah, all countries.
Oh, I
that-
may have,
Yeah,
I may
we're
have
gonna go a
whacked
bit
that one.
more
Yeah.
serious, I think it is.
You're-
Isn't
you're-
it?
yeah,
Hang
you've
on,
got-
all countries
oh,
that
is
give
it?
us nil points immediately go on the amber list. Good luck shifting those pastel donatas now, Jean-Pierre. Well, do you know what? I think we asked for it, nil point. Don't you think we asked for the nil point? I don't
understand
think
it. Happy Christmas, Brexit is over, as John Lennon never sang. I mean, come on. It's what? How many years since we? Oh well, okay. We took a long time exiting, but I can understand all those nil point in the sort of 2014, whenever it was, 2014, 2017, and all the rest of it. But I didn't sort of get it last night. It was,
Well, I mean, if anyone could have looked at, I find it difficult to imagine anyone watching our entry going, "Yes, that is the best song I've heard tonight. I am definitely picking up the phone in whatever language they." Oui, c'est la première de chanson. No,
all
Yeah.
he did was just put a bit of glitter on his beard
Yeah.
and maybe cut the leather jacket into some kind of bolero. That's all he needed to do. He just wasn't camp enough.
he should have
just
just done
say he just
Bolero.
wanted to
He
use
should have
them
pretended to be
up.
Torvald and Dean.
Oh,
you think that would have killed? That would have just swung it for us a little bit
Yeah,
then.
9 minutes of Bolero. He's slowly
Bolero,
stripped
that's the best thing we've ever
to just a
done.
glitter-covered body.
I mean, this consultancy could be just, you know, this really come into its own, really pay off. I mean, you're right. It was a bit. He just sort of kind of ambled around stage, seemed like a really nice guy and all the rest of it. But there wasn't that showbiz element, which you know. I mean, look, Germany turned up with a ukulele.
Yeah.
They should have had 10 points docked straight away
Well, they only got 3. They finished with 3
They did
points.
only
They didn't
finish-
do much better.
with their sort of hand mascot as well.
Yeah, surely there were some points for that. There's some inventiveness in having someone dressed as a hand.
Or as David Quantick thought, it was 5 cocks, or at least one. Yeah, but it was. I don't think we got a picture of that, unfortunately. And actually, we've totally ignored the elephant in the room, which was when the Italian one of the Italian guys was. I mean, there is a tweet on that somewhere, but it may take a long time to find it. Which is basically him. It was just pictured on the camera, sort of going towards the table as if he was just doing a line, which he vehemently denied afterwards. I need to point out, but yeah,
Not that rock and roll, then, is he?
not absolutely not. Well, Alice, you've got another one from Alistair as well somewhere, which I think is. Oh yeah, here we go. So it was torn between voting for Iceland or France, but in the end voted Conservative. As a small business owner, I need a safe pair of hands with the economy, and I'm also extremely uncomfortable with the idea of taking the knee. Thank you, but no thank you. Oh dear. Well, is it? Who else did anyone? So for whose favourite? You wanted Switzerland, didn't you, Suzy?
yeah.
Switzerland was essentially Tony Hadley, wasn't it? It was really like a baby Tony Hadley.
He reminded me a bit of Adam Lambert, actually.
Mm.
I
I
like
thought-
Adam Lambert.
I just loved him.
I did.
I think Adam Lambert is. I mean, I know he replaced Freddie Mercury in Queen for a bit, didn't he? And
He still is. I did have
okay.
tickets
And I'm
until
alright with that,
they
you know?
cancelled again.
Huh? Oh, is
to-
it
Oh, yeah, of
Tickets
course.
for-
I'm all right with that. What do we feel about that? Do we, you know? I mean, okay,
Yeah,
Freddie's not going to come back from the dead, so we've got to get someone
He's
else.
doing his own version, so
Yeah,
he's not.
he is. He's got
he's
his own
very-
kind of thing going on.
Yeah, and they've cancelled, and now I had tickets to see Queen and Adam Lambert in the O2, and now all I'm left with is Jason Donovan at the Plymouth Pavilions. That's all I've got to look forward to, and that's been postponed twice. So you know, will it happen? I don't know.
Yeah, they'll probably cancel that and they'll get Philip Schofield in to do it instead.
It's Jason Donovan willing to come to people's gardens and do it like for 5 people, like 6 people bubbles, is he? Is that
Well,
how
I'm-
bad his career's
I'm
gone?
If he needs a partner for, especially for you, because I'd put my hand up for that. So
All right, hang on.
He's
I'm gonna
worked
have to
out in
find.
favour.
I'm gonna have to find the Italy one. It just doesn't seem right to talk about it and not have it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Happy to have performed and so happy to be here. I'm so happy to have performed and I'm so happy that Eurovision have performed and I'm so happy that you're so
It's a bit
happy
too
to
I
be
love the
here.
guy on the
Too
far
quick,
left
isn't
who
it?
essentially nudges him and goes, camera. Camera.
Oh dear, it was pretty eventful. In fairness,
Why are they? What's with the no vest, no tops thing going on?
I love the
Why are
fact
they
we're old enough
so
now to
naked?
sound like my gran. Why aren't they wearing shirts though?
What's with that? Is that the new thing now?
I think if he's going to
Is
catch a
that-
cold, Sajeela, I think there might be another way he catches a cold. Quite frankly.
Yeah, but it's a lot of flesh showing off.
mean-
I'm not sure if they've had both jabs either. We're not, their sweat could be. I'm just not very happy with the health and safety issue around that.
Do we have information about how COVID affected cocaine consumption over the time? I mean, probably Coke dealers have been the worst hit in many ways,
Yeah.
I imagine.
oh dear.
It can't have been boom time, no. Oh dear, and it's, I mean, it was actually quite a good song. I mean, I think a playoff between them and Finland would have been quite good because their songs were
Oh.
very similar. It has to be said.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
I was more excited by Finland. They were very Linkin Park. I liked them a lot. And my mum had a few vodkas by this point, and she said the woman in the Italian group, she's trying to be Suzy Quantro.
Oh dear. I mean, it's also quite fun to spot the number of potential lawsuits from last night because there were so many there was a Linkin Park thing going on. There was Lady Gaga with Cyprus one. Gosh, who else was there?
Right, said Fred.
Right, so Fred. That did cross my mind. Actually, yeah, there were quite a few.
Too sexy for their shirts. That's what it was it?
The Italians, yeah, definitely too sexy for their shirts. I think it was.
Well,
Yeah,
I watched it now. I'm a bit late. I can't really go and watch it on catch up. but
Yeah,
I
go watch it. It's only 4 hours.
I was in my drama.
Flick
I was
through
into my
it.
dramas. I was into my dramas and my Spanish dramas with like all the drugs and Colombian. But what's it, going away from? Have we got anything else apart from?
yeah. No, we have
even
got.
though I
We've
could
got
talk about it for hours.
tons. We've got tons of things that are on Eurovision. Actually, I'm not sure where to start because I'm not sure whether I was going for the linking theme, but I seem to have settled on your. You picked this one out, Sajeela, about Coke, if you remember. Oh yeah, there is a linking theme. It's Coke. Come on.
Yeah, Coke.
Yes. Do you remember picking this one out?
Yes. Oh my God, it was so long ago. Yeah, for all the money they each spend, everyone asks for Coke. But when the barman says, "Is Pepsi okay?" does anyone ever say no and switch their order? Suzy?
No, it's all the same to me.
Yeah. And why are you ordering something that isn't alcoholic?
Exactly.
It's a waste of everyone's time if you're at the bar and you're ordering a Coke.
Well, I just thought that was like the reason I picked this because I was thinking everyone's going on about like Pfizer, and I know that you've had Moderna, Suzy, Pfizer and the AstraZeneca, and I felt that was a bit like the Pepsi kind of cola challenge. Like, and we're all sort of. I had Pfizer, and I was like, oh, I wish I'd had the AstraZeneca. That's from Oxford. They probably did better.
What?
I know, but everybody wants.
Can't even do the boat race well. They do.
I never gone at Wales because I never went to Oxford University. You did, didn't you, Natt?
Yeah.
So that's what it is. I want anything that comes from Oxford. But yeah, so I just kind of thinking, have we turned around and said no? I don't want Pfizer. I actually want. But I
I think there are some people who do since they found out AstraZeneca
Yeah, I mean,
slightly more blood clots. than
well,
the
yeah,
others.
exactly. Surely I felt a bit cheated actually when they started offering the sort of younger age group the Moderna vaccine. It was a bit like they turned around to the AstraZeneca one and said, yeah, well, we bought loads of this, so we're going to have to use it. But, you guys, you're the future. Have this one.
Yeah.
Like, I felt well, I'm still due my second one, actually. I haven't had my second one yet, but I should.
Which one did you have?
I had
again?
AstraZeneca, yeah.
Was it AstraZeneca? And Suzy had the Moderna. What about you, Nat?
AstraZeneca.
AstraZeneca. Okay, so we've got Pfizer, 2 Astras, and
So
1
have we had
Moderna.
all of them between us?
We've got all of them between us.
We can
So
see
just
who
gotta
lives
see who
longest
carks
and-
it, really.
Well-
We'll just.
We are a working test.
I
Yeah,
think
we've just got our own test going on here.
so. Gina remembers I had the Moderna because I wrote I just had the Moderna, vaccine, and I can't stop voguing ever since. And then I think Sajeela was the one person who liked my tweet. So thank
It definitely deserves more. We should have a little section called
deserves
more.
so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so ungrateful.
I love the way how we've got away from Pepsi and Coke. I mean, would it, if they'd have made a vaccine, actually, if they'd have made a vaccine, I would have wanted the Coke one, I have to say.
But I always think, why don't they have Coke? Like, do you mind? We haven't got Coke, but we've got Pepsi. And I was like, you know what? If you just slipped it in, I wouldn't have noticed. So you didn't need to.
It does taste.
I love that they've got consent. That they ask your consent. It's like it's quite nice because years later you could complain. I went to a bar and they said it was Coke, but I feel like I was infected with Pepsi. I don't know. I mean, does it make any difference? Will we notice the difference if we're out at night drinking?
No, I think some people think they can tell the difference, and good for them.
There was a whole range of very scientific taste tests in the 80s, weren't there? Let's face it. I think wasn't Chris Tarrant in those?
The plastic cup. Ooh.
Yeah. It was actually.
It's actually had more trial than a vaccine, Sajeela. So there's got to be something in it.
Well, that is true. That is true. Has had more trials than the vaccine. And just out of interest, do you have a preference, Natt Tapley, Coke or Pepsi?
No, wine.
Oh dear.
You're so suspicious, Natt Tapley. About Suzy, do you have a preference?
I have no preference. I'm currently drinking limoncello and prosecco.
Oh, limoncello. Check it out.
Well, that is
Nice
some quality fizz.
Didn't you meet the in-laws today? And that's
why I'm drinking. I did day drinking.
day drinking. I mean, what about you, Julian? Do you have a preference, or do you don't care?
No, I don't. I don't massively care. I have to say. I mean, I've got to an age now where if I have too much sugar in anything, it's just like, just go crazy. That's just quite sad, really. Because if you start taking it out of your diet, and then when you have it, it just sends you a little bit berserk like a toddler.
Yeah, I agree.
I do love the idea that the world could get really riled by this rather than all the other things it's divided by. But although Shrek also, was a good case in point.
Yeah.
Did
I just avoid all fizzy drinks. Full stop. Make you gassy, don't they, Suzy?
Well, I think that's a good. We've had the drink related. I think that takes us neatly.
Budget against Sajeela. I thought what happened in the budget stays.
What happened in Manchester stays in Manchester.
Yeah, but not unless it's Andy Burnham, who would probably be making his way down to London fairly soon. Right, Suzy, listen, it's food. We've had the drink. It's food time. It's Biscoff. I just put Biscoff bread. I just put Biscoff spread on a flapjack, and I'm not even ashamed. I mean, look at that. It is a bit of a work of art.
Oh, put Biscoff on anything. If something's I'm not saying they're bland because my auntie made the flapjacks and she might be watching. But sometimes you just need to put a bit of Biscoff on something, or just put it on a spoon and put it in your mouth. But it is the best thing ever invented. And I
don't know what Biscoff.
I've been going to a well-known slimming club, and I'm doing really well. But sometimes you just have an off day and just think, I'm just going to put a massive blob of Biscoff. And I have been known to put clotted cream and Nutella on a Yorkshire pudding. I've done a lot of wrong things, but always feel right. And I put it on a tweet, and a lot of people agreed with me. And then a friend of mine said, I think Nigella, she tweeted Nigella Lawson. Apparently Nigella's a big fan of Biscoff. And Nigella agreed. So I've had the...
Oh my God, have you had...
You've been Nigella's, haven't you?
From Nigella.
I do. It's a marriage proposal.
She would be sexily licking it right off her finger and putting a spoon right down. She'd be putting it on her nipples and doing all that.
So would Nigel Lawson, actually. He was known
Oh my God. Is this... So I know, because we forgot to do it at the beginning. Like, is this your Twitter moment?
No, it's not my
that's not even your Twitter moment. Having Nigella licking your Biscoff.
It's
I have
quite
no idea what Biscoff is, by the way.
It's quite... Here's your Twitter moment, isn't there?
Mm.
So where's this? This is from 2018.
2018.
Oh, I remember this,
I remember it. It's our pizza game.
Go on, do you want to read it out in your distinctive voice rather than mine?
Oh. Okay. We made cauliflower-based pizzas, covered it in low-calorie toppings, and hoped for the best. Reader, it was fucking horrible. We scraped off the toppings for a breakfast omelette tomorrow. Then we drank 4 bottles of wine. Learn from us. You want pizza? Get pizza.
It looks great though. Or is that?
I enhanced my accent for that. I don't know why. I thought I was the caramel bunny from a but it was.
That's what you should have put on it.
I have these like Saturday nights at my friend's house. We drink a lot of wine and have nibbles, and we decided to let's try this low carb cauliflower pizza. Everyone's going on about it, and we bought 4 cauliflowers, blended them, rolled it out, did all the things, and it stank to her house smelled of death for about 4 days. And her husband,
it's quite hard to get rid of that, isn't it? Yeah.
Her husband was like, "Nah, that looks horrible. Don't do it." And we're like, "Shut up, it's gonna be amazing." And we started eating it. It was great on the plate. We cut it all up and we started eating it. And it was, I think it was about 2 minutes before we both admitted that it was horrible. And we literally scraped the toppings off and had 4 bottles of wine. And we stole 2 curly whirlies from our daughter's cupboard. And that's what we had for tea, 4 bottles of wine and 2 curly whirlies. And for some reason, that tweet just went off. I mean, I know it's not proper viral, but for me it was
yeah,
good.
that's pretty good. I'd be happy with something like that.
My favourite was my favourite author, an all-round great person, Marianne Keyes, quote tweeted it. And I think Susanna Reid quote tweeted it or liked it or something like that. I think and there was some other
Baptiste, we've got loads of people.
There was another random celebrity, I can't remember who, but I was just like, oh my god, and my phone kept pinging. And I thought, is this what it's like to be successful? But yeah, I learned from that day. I never tried that again. Never again.
I'm trying to find
that's great.
it.
The weird thing is, I really do. I remember this tweet of yours as well, because I was like, how could you put all those disgusting ingredients together and think it was going to taste great in the first place?
What were the toppings?
Oh well, we got loads of cold meats and different cheeses and tomatoes, and we tried to be pretty healthy with the toppings as well. Cheese, meats. I mean, you can't go wrong, can you?
Cheese and meat.
But obviously, you got all the ingredients right for the smell of death. It's incredible. Yeah.
And you can go wrong. You can put cauliflower underneath them.
What I've now learned from the certain slimming group I go to is that people make pizzas out of meat. So they have like a burger pizza. So they get a load of beef and they roll it right out and put the pizza topping on. So you have like a meat-based pizza.
That's all right.
Oh my god.
And chicken. You can have that as the base. I'm like, oh my mind is blown.
Meat feast, eat your heart out.
It's just meat with shit on top.
Oh yeah, meat and cheese. That's all you need in life, to be honest. So
you heard it here. So so far we've had a prediction for the next lockdown and meat and cheese. All you need in life. That's pretty. Well, you heard it here first.
I have got a pretty strong addiction to Asda Tiger bread, so I've had to cut that out of my life because I can't. You know, when you get the fresh rolls, you go in there quite early, and they've taken the Tiger bread rolls out, and they're fresh, and I just want to go and motorboat the Tiger bread. I don't know if you know what motorboating is, but if you do that, you know that's how far.
Yeah, motorboating. I do know Tiger bread. I don't know. Kidding. I know what Tiger bread is.
Tiger bread rolls.
But is that just? Is it just colour? Is it just like a colouring though, or is there actually anything to Tiger bread? Like, is it
made of real tigers?
Yeah, it's got.
It's
I think it's like sesame oil or something. They coat it with, and it's very good.
It is lush. It is lush. Yeah. I have to say, really nice. I've got some tiger bread to go and eat in my soup after this.
What? Come on.
Wow.
Oh, come on.
Just flatbreads for me now. Bread's got too much sugar in it. Oh no. Show me.
Me and Sajeela, whenever we get together, we always eat our feelings, don't we, Sajeela? Oh, let's eat our feelings.
Then when we run out of those feelings, we go and look in the thesaurus for more feelings. Yes.
During lockdown, I ate all the feelings of all my neighbours as well.
You can just eat your way to a happier world here, couldn't you?
Yeah.
You need t-shirts printed for that. Brilliant stuff.
We watched a really crap film.
Some tiger bread has arrived.
Oh wow. Suzy, didn't we?
Everyone has tiger bread.
Film once, and we got to the end and we said, what the fuck? And then went off and had Nando's, but we.
Oh, I know what film it was. It was the one Foxcatcher.
It was so. I can't believe
wrestling.
How it was.
When he was kind of molesting him a little bit on the floor, you were like, is he in the cinema? And you were like, is he doing what I think he's doing?
Yeah, very loudly in the cinema. Because by that point, I did give a shit. Yeah.
Oh,
So that's your tweet that's made you kind of basically your successful tweet.
that's not
What about
my.
that
There
Tapley?
was one.
I didn't understand the question. I did something. I've got one from a while ago.
There you go. Bring it
got
on.
39,000
Tell me
likes.
about it, and I'll try and bring it up.
Let's see. So if you go to 20th of November
Hang on.
2016,
Find you first. Hang on.
11:50 a.m.
Sorry, hang on. What's
November? Yes.
Last year? Yeah.
No, 2016.
Oh my
You might want
God.
to search it. Hang on. I'll send you the text and you can
Yes,
search for the
yes,
text.
Yeah,
There you
just
go.
add just do an @to LKT.
Oh, I can hang on. I can share it with you,
Ah.
can't I? I can share
Yeah.
via direct message.
Yeah, it might clash with the actual Twitter feed, but you can give it a go.
Okay. There we go.
If you
should
if you send me
work.
the link, it will come up. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
That work?
Here we go. Lovely.
There we go.
Oh, back in 2016.
Back in
Would read it to us,
2016.
Nat.
Oh, I get it. In World War III, Germany gets to save the rest of the world from fascists. That's a pretty solid third act.
Yes.
There we
That
go.
was.
And I
Oh,
remember
look
this
at
as well.
those. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of K's.
It's a lot of
A
K's,
lot of
isn't it?
K's. Yeah.
Not a case.
We're
And
seeing a
so-
lot of K's around.
Who
You
was?
put my colleague
Well, this was Trump, wasn't it? I think it was Trump, and probably so. It's 5 months after Brexit. Trump. It was.
Yeah.
It's just misery, wasn't it? It was just a howl of despair. The fact that France was going quite Le Pen-y at the time, I think.
Yeah.
Marine,
Yeah.
not
It's a bit.
her dad.
Yeah.
He's mega dead. Yeah. There's that. I mean, there was. Yeah, that's
And
probably
like
my biggest
Suzy,
tweet.
did you have any kind of notable
I
retweets
don't know,
or comments on that thread?
I didn't read the thread. The thread's like 4,000 comments long. I turned it off.
Oh my god! If I got
That's what we're
that,
doing for the DVD
I'd
extras.
read through every single one.
Well, look, David Neal's asked you to follow him off the back of it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
He does that to everyone, though. He says it to Rob Newman all the time.
Greg Jenner, this used to be funny, now it's terrifying. Because it's like you ruined everyone's day, Nat. It's not
Yeah,
that
I made everyone
Brexit and Trump
sad.
have ruined their day, but yeah. So
Yeah,
that,
I mean, I think that was probably the most successful one. Although the one that got most attention was the one because I reviewed was when Dapper Laughs set his 400,000 Twitter followers on me. That was probably
ooh, okay,
my
that sounds
biggest
quite
layer.
Blamed
heavy.
you for his Twitter follower loss.
no, because I'd written the review of his Christmas album, which sent him into his spiral over his last weekend of being a thing, which made him end up on Newsnight on the Monday, dressed up in his black roll neck, pretending to be an actor. Yeah, so I gave him a bad review of his.
You haven't frozen, have you? You have
I
frozen.
think you
And
must
he
have
then
frozen.
he'd say, "You're trying to ruin Christmas. This is for charity." I said, "I'm not trying to ruin Christmas. It's not for charity because I have phoned Sony and I said, is it for charity? And Sony said, no, it's not for charity. I mean, he might choose to give some of the money to charity, but we're giving him all the money. There's no charitable element."
Just,
So I pointed that out.
Just to let you know, you froze at this killer moment when you said, I gave him this review of, and it was like you were thinking, it was like the Joey Tribbiani smell of fire acting.
sorry.
It was like, where did you go? So,
So I reviewed his Christmas album, which was meant to he claimed was in aid of a homeless charity. It wasn't. Sony said it wasn't in aid of a charity at all. One of the tracks on it was about him kicking a homeless man. And I said, it's bad. It's just not, and it wasn't even good and funny. So I said that. And he said I was trying to ruin Christmas. And he tried to get his 400,000 followers to express their displeasure. So the volume of tweets I received in 1 minute, I printed out and it went 2 times across the room.
Wow.
From
Wow.
people saying, "You melt. I hope homeless rapes you for Christmas," and that was, the general level. "I know where your children go to school." I was like, "You don't. My children are really dim."
but printing
very
it out now, I mean, that's an environmental disaster right there.
Yeah, I've got a picture of me lying down next to the tweets, and I'm nowhere near as big as the tweets.
You're in good company because there was also a pile-on from the same people for Sue's Kempner,
Yes.
Dapper Lad. So he's got form there.
Yeah.
Who's also a former guest on here.
Who? Suze,
Yes.
not Zappa.
Suze.
I'm sure you could get him.
Context.
He's not. I'm sure his phone hasn't been ringing. Daniel O'Reilly. Hello.
Well, no, I saw something recently about him making some kind of comeback, I thought, but I don't know, just
You can only hope.
out the corner of
Look,
my
I mean,
eye.
see,
Oh my God, he's not disguised himself as James Newman, has he?
I
not
reckon
put on weight
there's
for
every
Olympics.
chance he could be next year's Eurovision entry. Would anything be more England at the moment than submitting Dapper
We are
Last for
all
Eurovision?
James Newman, I think, is what. Yeah. I mean, we didn't. Yeah, well, no. So I was just so tempted to bring the thing back to Doodah Eurovision then, but I won't. Let's find another tweet before I do
Something
that.
from Suzy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Nigella, Peters. So it's the Sharon Davis one. Oh no, hang on. Yeah. So
That's from England.
what's
Must be hers.
what should I play to? Because aren't you hiding in the background? Is essentially what's happening.
Yeah, you see the picture because I went for my usual swim the other day at my gym that I never go into the gym at. I go swimming, and there was a group of people and they were filming, and I sort of was trying to hide in the back because they were walking in the same direction as me. So I was holding back and I was trying to walk slowly,
I think it's on that.
my little mask, and I saw that they were filming, and I saw it was Mark Ormrod, who is a famous war veteran who's a triple amputee. And I saw him, but I didn't see who he was with. And it turned out later from looking at his page that he was with Sharon Davis, who is like probably the most famous person for Plymouth. I don't know.
I didn't realise she was
And he's doing a charity swim. But the worst thing, to my shame, I was caught in the background with my mask and I was kind of like this. And my boyfriend actually pointed it out and screenshot it and put a little circle around me. And my mum said to me, "Oh, you look a bit like that guy with the mittens on." And she meant I looked like Bernie Sanders in that meme where he's sitting there and he's doing this. Because in the background, I'm just kind of skulking in the background. And yeah, so
Is it on their tweet? Is it actually on their YouTube link that they tweet, or is
yes,
it
there's a little YouTube link to their video, but I've got the screenshot of the little. You can see me skulking in the background.
I see. Yeah.
It'll say hello to Sharon comes in, and then you can just see me in the background.
I think
Who are the Mitchell brothers? Who are they?
Hang on. One at a time. I think the screenshot I've got, but I don't know. Depends how much of the video. Hang on. Let's. I'll have to go into my own private emails to do that on air. So maybe not. I don't know.
Always dangerous.
We're at the right place.
So how long is this? This
Are we
is
at
10
the right
minutes.
place?
Do you know where it comes in?
Hope so.
Yeah, it's just at the beginning, just after they go in.
Oh, okay.
Because you have to kind of get it at the right.
There's a pub
but it's-
over there.
I seem to be sort of
Now.
tugging my bag, so that's why it looks like the Bernie Sanders.
Oh no. So have I gone past it?
Yeah, you got past it. They're not in the pool yet.
Okay.
Are we at the right place?
I knew this one wasn't going to work. Hang on.
So of it, but I'm nice sheriff. Oh no, I can't sheriff.
There's a puddle over there.
This is
You know,
good.
I can't remember.
There's a
Hang on,
puddle over
they're
there.
near the door. That's helpful. They're near the door.
There's
I got a bit confused when you called me. I was like, oh my god, I probably ran the wrong place.
We got to do this kind of
yeah.
stuff, haven't we?
Thank you.
What were they actually
Yeah,
doing?
stupid.
This is
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
So it's really Blink and you missed it, isn't it?
I was just in the background there.
I'm going to teach you the
Okay.
to the path.
I have to, that is quite incredible claim to fame, Suzy. Well done.
It's very fleeting, but I have got the photo where I've circled it.
Yes, I know. I didn't realise that I was going to need that as
That's
well.
good.
I should have saved it to my photos.
I feel like it's
Like Sharon Davis grudgingly offering her elbow to someone. Oh.
a man with one
To an
arm.
amputee. Yeah. Got any other bits you'd like to show off, Sharon? Like a knee?
It's also, it looks a bit like a hate crime if you're doing that, as you're bending your arm in half.
No.
Right, so hang on. So
Yeah.
Phil Mitchell was
Amputee
mentioned.
Nazis have a real problem, don't they? Can just
Talking to Mitchell brothers, here you go.
So this is Matthew Hyten's
Whose tweet
tweet.
is this?
It's from
That's Matthew Hyten's. It made me laugh so
Oh my
much.
goodness. I used to baby filter on Ian Beale crying on Phil, and I think it's the best thing
The
I've ever
sound as
done.
well, if you
Oh,
put
it's the
the sound
sound.
on.
Right, let's do it.
I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left.
Anyway,
Oh,
that made
God.
Oh my
me
goodness.
very happy. That
Yes,
was one of
that's,
the most pleasing things I saw all week.
that is brilliant. Is Matthew do quite a lot of the stock? Is it Matthew that does the stock?
Yes, he
footage
does
one?
the stock footage credits for things. Yeah, it's really good.
Well, look, Eleanor's just. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Eleanor. She's just come in to ask, what did she do? Well, actually, Nat, you picked out Eleanor's tweet. About
Oh, yeah.
Hi,
really would like to cancel me. Would love to be on TV.
So, yeah.
Which I thought was very funny.
So yeah, I mean, there was something. I mean, the whole cancel thing. I noticed that Shappy Corsandi wrote a piece about cancel culture, and that was off the back of Chris Rock's comments. I hadn't realised that Donald Glover had also said something about the space to experiment being that much,
right?
Smaller. I mean, I don't know. What you guys are on the obviously have recently been on the circuit and will be on the circuit again until the new lockdown that Nathaniel's warned us about. But is there there's obviously a big issue for comedians. This is it.
It's a grift, isn't it? It's a grift. It's the same old grift that's been going on for years. When Bernard Manning complained about people being too PC, it's a grift which gets some people money, and fair play to them. You can keep complaining about the cancellation that never comes. Good for you. Have a good time. Make your money. It's a grift.
PC people weren't complaining about being cancelled.
It's got a long and storied tradition of, you can say these terrible people with principles, they're really trying to silence me, when all you're trying to do is shut them up. And it's it's a basically fundamentally dishonest position. But, it works to make...
Oh, just keep phrasing at the crucial... Da, da, da. We just lost you there for a minute.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I've been cancelled by the internet.
Twitter cancelled and Zoom cancelled.
Yeah.
Suzy, do you? I mean, I know you don't really normally get involved in these kind of conversations, but do you feel like is there a cancel culture that's really affecting stand-up comedians in any form, shape, or form? Do you feel that there is some truth in that, or is it just certain comedians that are just...
Well, as you know, as a hard-hitting, cutting-edge, satirical comedian, I mean,
a lot of people, Biscoff is pretty controversial, isn't it?
Yeah. There's a big Marmite industry.
I just think it's social media. We're just more aware of it now because it's social media, and everyone has an opinion on everything now, and it's just easy to sort of put it out there and I mean, someone mentioned about Julian Clary when he made the Norman Lamont comment at the award, and that was like a really early example of someone being cancelled, and it was a funny joke and it was an off the cuff thing. But nowadays, if you tweet something, it's there forever. I mean, I do think a lot of people do it for publicity and to be controversial and to get attention. And I don't say anything controversial. I'm just me. But I did cut out a piece of my material because I used to do a bit about the Jeremy Kyle show, and it wasn't particularly cutting edge or like brand new or anything. It was just about how people from my town are often on it, because that's true. There's people from Plymouth on it all the time. And it's generally about people going on telly and not really making an effort with their appearance. That was all saying anything bad. I mean, I would mention that they have a lot of children and that they don't particularly wash their or whatever. But I cut it out when Jeremy Kyle got cancelled, basically, and because somebody had took their own life as a result of being on the programme. I cut that out because I felt like I didn't pretend like I was being mean about those people, and I did that as a choice for myself. People would still laugh at it, I guess, but I just felt like, I sound mean now because that's got connotations, because the Jeremy Kyle show used to be something that you just laugh at and you're like, I want to feel superior to these people. Look at the poor people sort of thing. And then I cut it out because I thought, well, that just makes me sound mean now because someone's actually lost their life. And it became very clear, and they publicised how it did affect people, and that these are actually real people, and a lot of them just go on it out of a misguided sense of having a bit of fame, and so I cut it out because I just didn't want to seem mean, and and a lot of comedians just kind of do the opposite and think, I'm going to say that because that'll get me some attention. There's a few people now doing it on Twitter, sort of, I'm saying this, and it's not who I am. I'm just I just like to talk about myself.
Well, don't you find that in a way, it's the people who complain that they can't say anything don't really have that much to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And also,
it's
we've heard them
interesting.
saying that they clearly can say things.
Yeah, the fact that they're
You haven't been
moaning
completely
about not
silenced.
being
I can
able
hear
to
you saying that.
Yeah, and also I kind of am with you a little bit on that, Susie. That I do think is a little bit of attention. The right has become the new, I don't know, the new knob gag, I suppose. It's just that everybody's got to have a little bit sort of slightly right wing views to maybe. I don't know. It's weird because I have been censoring myself too. I don't know about you, Nat.
Yeah, I think we all do, but that's part of being human, isn't it? Because you have to say live comedy in front of other human beings.
Yeah.
And if you say things that are hurtful to the people in the audience, sometimes that will feel awkward, as it should, because you're a human.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's
It's a lot to do with.
I think that's an unhealthy impulse.
It's definitely a lot to do with story.
I've got a really horrible joke I just wrote about Michael Gove, which I will never be able to say because it's too awful. But I'm really tempted to.
Why don't you sell it to someone who does really?
Well, what I'll do is I will dress up as Syrian bowler and make him say it and blame it on an imaginary character, because I have a get out clause, which is the character said it, I didn't.
Another point, Nat, it's like you obviously do a character sitting in bowls, which is very successful and very good, and obviously says all the things that. We also know from having worked with you when you've done that character, is that some people can think it's real, and so and then start attacking the character.
Yeah, well, the problem is when they agree with the character. That's the most worrying bit, is when people. And so that's why I do it less often now. In that the culture from 2016 onwards has been more divisive, and if people choose to take the funny things he says and repeat them to other people outside it, I don't think that's achieving what I'm setting out to do. I always make sure that you can if you watch the act, you should see that he is the idiot in that situation.
Yeah.
But it's like John Cleese making Basil Fawlty the idiot in the situation in The Germans. You still have people goose stepping around with a finger under their nose thinking that's the funny bit.
Suzy,
so basically we are all Julian, we're all self-censoring because the culture is changing, and that's right that we should do that, because we also have to perform to an audience, as you say, that's live, and so we're all doing that. So I just think, isn't that just normal thing to do as society changes, that we all have to kind of
I think there's certain, I don't know anyone who would say absolutely anything on stage, and nor would you want them to. I mean, what would be the point?
What's your take on this, Julian?
Well, I was going to say, Suzy was itching to say something. And hang on, she's wandered up. What were you itching to say a moment ago, Suzy? You were.
Sorry, a glass of wine's just arrived.
Change the subjects.
I've got this shaped glass because I can't be trusted with wine glasses because I misjudged. I've got a heavy tumbler. I think I don't know what I was talking about. There's always someone's going to be offended by something. I've been to see comedians and I've felt upset about things they've said, but I was just thinking about lately that the one of the hot topics is the pronouns, the them and he, she, them. And I was having a long chat with my niece. She's 18 and she said a lot of her school friends are now they. And she says it does get confusing because you do slip up on your tongue. So I urge anyone who's go and see David Mills, the comedian, because he does a fantastically funny routine.
Yeah, great
routine.
They,
them. Have you seen it?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's absolutely brilliant. And he's not being offensive. He's just saying he does this whole sort of rant about talking about someone and saying, well, they said no, but it was them and they and the and this, and it was just absolutely hilarious about the confusion of talking about two people who are both they and trying to, and it was just brilliant and funny and not offensive at all. Yeah, I'm not very good at these kind of things, Julia, am I? I normally just like to talk about Coronation Street. So,
well, no, I just thought that was pretty.
But you are also mixing drinks. So that probably doesn't.
I am mixing.
Yeah, you are mixing drinks. You know, we shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I think that's really. I think it's interesting. First, I'm going to have to try and look up that routine, but there's an interesting contribution. I mean, it's all based on your own experience. I think there's more cancellation in, arguably more cancellation in academia than there is in comedy, and that is another issue which we won't go into now. But I mean, in terms of the comedy, it's different for me. I'm not a comedian, but I keep thinking about sensibilities, and I keep thinking about that example of Matt Richardson, which I've used before when he was on Jeremy Vine's show, and he said that he'd been doing a gig at a university, and there's a routine about him not being in love with his girlfriend, and all the students were really sort of shocked that he could not be in love with his girlfriend, and you're sort of thinking, well, that is really interesting. What people will be sort of irked or uncomfortable by, and I think those parameters have obviously shifted.
Yeah, but I think they have in loads of ways, in different, like, it's always, that's the point of live comedy, isn't it? Is that you're performing to an audience of people and you have to establish a connection with them. And some days you are going to wildly misjudge that. And we've all done it. And we've ended up saying things through a sea of blank faces or angry faces or upset people. But it's part of the job. I don't think it happens more now. It just seems like part of your job is judging your audience and reading a room. And if you're not doing that, that's not the room's fault. That's your fault. It's your job to make them laugh. It's not their job to accept your jokes and laugh at them.
Can I just
They're
quickly
paying
ask?
you.
Is with Suri and Bolo, was that a bit of was there a bit of a loads of money thing happening where the jokers started to kind of? Yeah.
I mean, one of the problems was that when Sajeela and I used to do the cottage, it used to be in the BNP recruiting pub, so you'd have some people hanging around from
that was
agreeing with him violently.
That's a cynical.
Bizarrest thing, because it's the most diverse club with the most diverse lineup, and then we'd have to go in there and wait for the BNP people to come out. You know, it's just like
they had the room before us. They'd overrun again. Selfish.
Yeah, the BNP meetings overrunning, and I don't know. You know, I think we might have got a couple of audience members from there, but we had a couple of situations. But you know, stories to tell. I just think if also the room, I have to say from the other point of view as well, is you're saying if you're in the room, then you've got to give the audience what they want. For someone like me, I've been in rooms where it's completely hostile towards myself, and any person of colour will tell you the same. If they go into a room, they can feel it, the energy, and my advice would be just don't do those rooms again, because they're you know, I'm not there to. And every time I've dumbed down or tried to play the butt of the joke so that the audience feel comfortable, I've never felt good about myself. So I think there's another sort of, and to just play the gigs that you feel good at, and that you feel that you can have an audience. So
and sort of the joy of the clubs like the one Sajeela runs is that you can have a sort of long-standing relationship with an audience over a number of years, so you can do absolutely anything in front of them and they're willing to forgive it and go with it and see what happens, even if it's not very good sometimes.
Yeah.
I love to get the Sajeela's gig because we tend to just tell stories about what we've been up to, and we say things that we because the cottagers are a nice little local gang, and they kind of, we've been doing it a while, haven't we, Sajeela? So we come on and say, oh, guess what me and Sajeela did? It's something you couldn't do in another club. But
no.
And I call Sajeela Sanjay, and she's the only person I can do that to. And I do it in front of other people.
Cancel Suzy right now. Cancel.
I don't know what.
I have that power.
Hang on, I meant.
Yeah.
Just done it for you.
No, but it does help, like, to have an audience that is open-minded, and I think they have kind of effectively, want a better word, groomed over the last 14 odd years, and so new people who come kind of already get that rules of the room. Whereas, look, this is the performer, that's their art, do not interrupt, do not, play up, this isn't jonglers. I'm not, saying there's anything wrong with that. We've had hens and stags and they've been perfectly civilized. So there is a room for all sorts of material where people will let you make mistakes and will let you, and there are lots of rooms out there. I know I'm going to be biased when it comes to the comedy cottages. And we had our Let's Kill Twitter, the first couple with the cottages lot, and they were nice.
Yeah, it was great. It was such a great trial run. The bumper Zoom room that we had. Yeah, well, we're hopefully going to do it live one day. I mean, that's the plan. Now, it's not cheating to go back to Friends, is it? Given the reunion is on this week, we couldn't make this our last tweet. I noticed. Go on.
Can I quickly pop one in, because I did one just for Suzy this week, in that I did tweet Makosi, and she tweeted back.
Yes, you've got to do that one.
Makosi did say, hang on, where is it? She said, because I know you love Big Brother 6 almost as much as I do. I couldn't get Maxwell or Saskia, they're not online. But Makosi tweeted back and she said, you would need therapy to go for Big Brother 6.
Yeah.
So
what she needs is contraception, because, fingers can be very fertile.
No, she just needed the test. That's all she said.
Just give some context.
Fingers in jacuzzis. Fingers in jacuzzis. Poor
jacuzzi. Oh, jacuzzi.
Right, we've got to give some context to this, because I think Julian's going to be. So, both. We know that Natt Tapley is obsessed with Big Brother
6.
Series, 6, which was
only 6. All the rest were terrible.
Which was with Makosi, Can you name some of the characters that
Yes,
were...
Maxwell, Saskia, Kinga, Orla, Eugene McCosey, Kamal, Derek Lord, Roberto, Mary the Witch, and Bonnie, is that it?
Oh, I
Maybe.
think
Yeah.
I might have seen
Anthony
six,
and Craig,
actually.
Anthony and Craig.
Bonnet.
Craig, yeah. Gosh, I
Yeah.
had seen this
Craig
one.
and Anthony. Bonnet.
Bonnet. No,
Yeah.
Kamal is no longer Kamal. Kamal
Oh.
has got another name now,
Okay.
a female name.
Oh.
I looked at this recently. I can't remember why. I was looking up Kamal, but Kamal is now female. But I'm not. Well, we had a discussion about it. I feel like it was over a few drinks, but the fact that you know it so well. But Craig and Anthony was the love story. It was a
It
proper
should have been.
unrequited love.
Unrequited love.
Very, very. Oh,
Do you remember his broken heart with the day he put Anthony drank too much and Craig had to put him to bed in his pants and it just sort of lowering him gently and tenderly. Go, should I just lie down next to you for a bit, Anthony?
oh.
Was this the same
It
series?
was like Foxcatcher. Sajeela, it was like that scene in Foxcatcher. He kind of laid and did a bit.
Yep, disturbing. But I have to say, it is my favourite series, sorry, that Big Brother 6.
Oh, Science was in it as well. I forgot Science. Sorry.
Yeah.
And also it has the episode where they were all in boxes. They put them all in boxes for a day and said the task is to just sit in a box, and all of the footage is just static boxes.
The editing on that was absolute genius with the voices coming out. But I'm now intrigued as to why Saskia and Maxwell are not on social media. Do you think they're under witness protection?
I think they probably have. I think they're on a tag. I wouldn't be surprised. the Jada Franson and
He was
Tommy
punched,
Robinson
but-
of.
So Julian
Well,
has no
No,
idea.
I saw. I remember Craig. I absolutely remember Craig. I'm just trying to work out if Anna the Nun. What series was she?
Oh, I think she was the first one.
She was
Was she the
number one.
first one? Ah.
Yeah.
with Craig, the builder.
I mean, I
still
just
does
remember
good.
the end of one episode was Anna sitting on the bed and she was just looking through a photo album, and then all of a sudden Paul Oakenfold smashes in. It's like, yeah, looking through a photo album. It's amazing. Mind you, I must have, I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
I must have stuck
I've-
around a little bit because I do remember Craig. But after
Well,
that,
in the box one, when McCosey got out of the box because she was bored, she was then just pouring water through the tops of everyone else's boxes through the air holes.
I do believe Craig went on to be in the pop band Scooch, actually.
With Anthony's corpse in his little carry bag.
Circle of life. Didn't he have his own DIY show, didn't he? For a bit.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was
He does. I
First
watch
Craig.
his DIY stuff. But which episode was it where there was a ginger guy who dyed his hair, and then his chest hair,
Him.
he shaved it under his.
Which one was that? I don't think I saw
Posh
that.
Tim. Do you remember Posh Tim?
No.
Kyle
his
swallowed
hair?
his back.
Kyle S. Who's this? Kyle S.
Fuck off, Carl, wasn't it? That's what he said. Fuck the fuck off.
I've actually. Do you remember Carol?
Oh,
Vince?
look, Martin, first time viewer on YouTube, is enjoying this lot. Hello, Martin.
Hello,
Martin. Lovely to see you. Thanks for joining us. Do make sure you come back every fortnight. We went all
I should probably point out to people they can also, they'll be able to watch this on
watch the
YouTube
other show.
afterwards. It will be on Facebook as well, except on terrible quality, so watch it on YouTube. But also I make them into
Not just the content.
podcasts as well, so available on all good podcast outlets. But sorry, carry on with Big Brother.
I would just say I made.
Martin's got a weird. He's got his mask over his eyes, and
Oh,
is that Big Willie in disguise?
Big Willie behind me.
Look at Martin. Martin could be Big Willie. Look, he's got a beard.
Where's Martin?
There he is.
Can I see
There, look,
Oh, hang
smart.
on,
Yeah, my
Hello,
eyes are
Martin.
one. Oh, Martin looks very mysterious. Very 50 Shades. Oh, Big Willie behind me.
Well, followers are followers.
All right.
Followers. Oh well, nice to join us, Martin. It's good to have you. Oh, but he's been followed by people we know, so
Yes.
yes,
could be,
he's a proper
yeah.
person.
Oh,
Proper
that's good to
person.
know.
Yeah, obviously Big Brother 6, I think
Mm.
we've talked about it before, that
Yeah.
we should reenact it. We should have used lockdown for that, really. We should have reenacted it on lockdown with all of us that know each other. And
the original cast, you probably aren't doing much nowadays.
I know we're running a little bit over, but is there anything, because it is my last one for a while, is there anything else you want to cover before that you haven't covered, guys, you two?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, give us a shout on
Have
the.
we missed anything? Have we missed
I don't
anything?
think. I think we've done really well actually.
What about you, Julian? Have we had any of yours?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the Eurovision ones were mine. We covered Friends reunion last week. I just noticed a few tweets going round about their the work they'd had done were not particularly kind. I mean, there was this one, Mallow News. Entertainment. Friends reunion, grim reminder of how death awaits us all, and there is naught but a world of night and ash to dine upon when we die. I don't know that literary reference, I'm ashamed to say, but it's very effective. It does sound very Shakespearean, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, on the upside, that also awaits James Corden, so swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, it's his production company apparently that are doing it, so there you go. But yeah, that's all happening on Thursday. I kind of wish that Friends and Cummings and UFOs had all been the same week, but you can't have everything. I mean, there was UFOs and there was Shrek as well. I mean, there was actually quite a lot we could have piled on today, but I think we did very well.
I'm in two minds of whether to watch the Friends reunion because I'm still angry with Rachel for getting off the plane. I feel like she should have stayed on the plane and gone to Paris and got away from Ross because he was a psychopath.
Ross was a bit controlling, I thought.
Yes, he
He was a bit controlling because looking back, let's face it, Ross, there was something not right, something a bit off about him.
Not right.
Collected bones.
She should have gone on the plane. Anyway, I'll get over it. It'll be all right.
By the way, look, don't traumatise Julian because he's a super fan, as so am I. But
well, my mum
is
just retired. My mum's just retired the other day after 38 years as a nurse. And I kept making Friends references. And I said, right, now's your time to watch Friends. This is the challenge. She's wondering what to do with her retirement. So I'm going to make her I'm going to wean her onto it. Start from series 1, sit her down with a nice cup of tea and see how she gets on. Bless her.
You hooked, I would imagine, I'm sure.
That's brilliant. Now, so it's almost time to come to an end because as you can see, Julian has changed his background. And there's a very good reason for that.
It just accents me better. No, actually, I really like the blue background. This is the business end of the show, folks. This is basically the bit of admin at the end, which I hope you've enjoyed that out there. Thank you for the interactions on Twitter. I hope you've enjoyed watching us on Facebook, on YouTube and Twitch, where we also appear. As I've just mentioned, you'll be able to get this episode afterwards on YouTube. I shall just be filling in some of the intro details on that, but it will also be available as a podcast. And is it available as anything else? Trying to cover all mediums. If you want to support our work, you can do by going to the Buy Me a Coffee website and finding the Let's Kill Twitter page, which I will just high-techly move out of the way. There we go.
buymeacoffee.com/Let's Kill Twitter.
There we go. Oh yeah, and also most of these details are actually scrolling above. Unbeknownst to us, these are scrolling above our heads thanks to the magic of OBS, which obviously gives you our Twitter handle, and it gives you where to go to donate and all the rest of it. And it gives you Suzy and Natt's email addresses, Twitter handles, and their phone numbers, and Dapper Last obviously the
PIN
address.
number.
Yeah, PIN number. Oh dear.
And of course, we are drinking coffee, but our guest, Suzy, mixing her drink, so please buy drinks mixing things for Suzy. What we've mixed today, lots of drinking. What are you drinking, Natt?
Nothing. I've done the whole thing dry. Pencil sharpener shavings.
Got lots of books there.
Well,
guys, you got anything to plug?
Yeah.
Oh yes, a Kit Kat. I see your 2 fingers with my 4. You can't see it there.
Just in case anyone's listening to that on the podcast, they're talking about Kit Kats, guys.
Got anything to plug, Nathaniel Tapley?
No, not at all. Have a great life. Enjoy yourselves.
I do believe you recently recorded with our friend Peter Dennis something.
Yes, that was the two. Yes, go to 2018 and subscribe to that, and then listen to the amazing podcasts, the Future Shocks Radio, made by Pete Dennis and me and Al Murray and Rufus Hound and all sorts of people.
Oh well, that's really quite exciting.
Right.
And if you want to follow Natt, it's on @Natt NATT on Twitter. And Suzy Bennett, do you have anything to promote?
Well, I'd like to do a nice radio voice like Natt Tapley just did, but I'm not sure. I'm terrible on social media. I'm rubbish on Instagram. But I'm on Twitter at Funny Suzy B. I usually post pictures of shopping trolleys that are left abandoned in my local area. But if you are ever in Plymouth, I am doing the new Plymouth Comedy Tours, which is the first ever comedy walking tour with free comedians. Go to plymouthcomedytours.co.uk and have a look and register your interest. Come to Plymouth and hear all about the pasty shops and that.
And that sounds great fun. I wish I was on those tours. And you get your exercise as well.
Visits, Gila.
I will.
We can do top and tail again. Hey,
yeah, those old days with our masks on.
Bathroom again.
I've got to ask with Devon Greggs and Cornwall Greggs, is there anything like the scones that we should know about that Devon Greggs and Cornwall Greggs do differently?
Now, there are many pasty shops in Plymouth, but Greggs is not one of them. Greggs don't do pasties; they do bakes. They don't do pasties. So it's it's a completely separate entity.
I've triggered. And on that note, with the plugging done and the admin done, we will see you next week in some form, which will be confirmed on Twitter. We normally have our Twitter sorbet, but there may be something slightly different to the sorbet next week. But just stay tuned to our Twitter page and you shall find out. So it is time to wave goodbye to our lovely streamers. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining.